Today we're going to go through how to thread up a digital machine. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. Here's our sewing machine. We're going to turn it on. You'll always find the power button to your machine on your side. So I'm going to turn it on. Mine's a digital machine, so it will actually turn on and have a little touch screen here. And then to activate my machine, I'm going to touch the touch screen. When I do this, the needle is going to move, which is why we never put our needle down until we have our machine ready. Okay, so now mine's ready to go and we're ready to set it up and to start threading it up. To thread it up, I need the top stopper for my thread, a spool of thread, and a bobbin. So now I'm going to move the camera so that we can actually see a little bit more of what I'm about to do next. Okay. Now we're all a bit zoomed in, we can start. So we're going to take our thread, we're going to pop it onto our spindle. We're then going to put the stopper on top of the spindle and push it down nice and tight. If you have a small stopper, sometimes they push down inside the spool of thread. Okay, now we're going to take our thread, we're going to pop it underneath one guide, behind the back of another guide. We're going to come down, come back up, and in here there's a little piece that sort of hooks in like this, goes in back and forth. At the moment you can't see it very well. If you take the big hand crank on the right hand side, you can just ever so slightly, we're just looking for a little silver movement in here. Some machines they come right up. So I'm going to go to the right hand side, along to the back, pull it to the left, pull it sharply down, and it's going to hook itself into that little silver neck piece in there. I'm going to go up into a little hook that's just above my needle, and then straight through my needle. Okay, so that's the first part of our threading done. The next part of our threading is to thread the bobbin. Mine is a drop-in style bobbin, which means you can see it from the top. Some machines have a push-in style bobbin where you remove this case and push it in from the side as well. So I take the little guide off the top and I pick up my bobbin. I want to make sure that my thread is spooling out in the correct direction, and I'm going to pull it around. Now when I say the correct direction, I'll pop it back in so you can see what I mean. Here there's a little diagram on my actual machine that shows me it wants to spool around and then back out. So it's going to go anti-clockwise and then out. There's also another little diagram for it here. On each machine this is different. Some go clockwise, some go anti-clockwise. Check your manual. If you don't have the manual for your exact machine, Google it. You'll be able to find the manual on. So once I've got my bobbin in, I pull it around, up and down. On my machine, this is a little cutter, so I'm going to pull it sideways. I'm going to do a little cut, and then I'm going to put the bobbin case back on. On many modern machines, like this digital style one, you don't need to now do what we refer to as picking up the thread. On an older style or a mechanical style machine, what you want to do, hang on to your top thread, use the big hand crank on the right hand side, roll it towards you. It's going to make the motion of a stitch, and as you pull the thread, it will pull the bottom thread up. Okay, so I've moved again so you can see a few more things on my machine. Here you'll notice there is a red light. That red light will continue to stay red until I have lowered my presser foot. So this is your presser foot, and in either the side or at the back through the neck of your machine you will find the presser foot lowering device, and you'll see that the light has gone green. So again, it goes red, it goes green. You want it to be green. Some machines don't have this, but you always must lower your presser foot before sewing or you'll end up with lots of knots. This is my reverse button. It looks like a little U-turn symbol. Some machines have a little button that you push, others have a little lever that you hold down. Sometimes there's a little switch. Have a look, we'll be using the reverse button quite a lot. It's a very handy tool. Mine has a speed dial. I'm a little bit of a lead foot, so mine's up nice and high. But if you're at the beginning stage and you have a speed dial, I would definitely start it down nice and slow till you get the hang of your machine. Okay, and then here is my actual dial. For my stitch type, I have a straight stitch. It is a length of 2.5. You always want a straight stitch with a length of about 2.4 to 2.6 mil. It's like the Goldilocks of stitches. It's not too tight, not too loose. So set that one up. Some machines you'll have little dials that you will push. Others you will have dials that you spin or move, but straight stitch and a length of 2.5. Mine has a number of straight stitches you can choose from. I choose to sew with my needle in the left hand position because I know that where I can line things up for seam allowances. So if you have a look, the needle does not line up to the center of my presser foot. If I wanted to do that, if you keep an eye on the needle, if I push, it has now moved to the center. It's personal preference. All you need to know is the distance from there out to your lines to figure out your seam allowance. And we're going to go over seam allowance on another video, so we'll talk about that then. For the moment, I'm going to pop mine back to the left-hand position, and we're all ready. We've all threaded up and we're ready to start sewing.